intrigued that they've asked me to give the keynote address because I come from the most disorganized, unorganized sector of, films. Our industry is most disorganized. But I have to tell you, you ask us to conduct a marriage. We are capable of conducting 20 marriages in a day. We know how to multitask and, take care of crisis management. We might not be very formal and organized, but we have capabilities. Our biggest capability is we've kind of managed to steal you away from your work and your family, and you're all glued to television or screens because of all of us, and that's our first plus point, I guess. I have to tell you, I'm a very humble speaker. I speak very well. That's where the humility goes. The other humble part of my speech is that I don't prepare, because I'm not really educated. I told you I'm a humble speaker. I'm not really educated. I come from a family of lawyers and doctors and engineers, but I followed my uncle's footsteps. He dropped out of school in 9th standard, my uncle Kamala Hasan. But kind of being a woman, and being a girl, I couldn't manage to do what he did because I didn't have the freedom to throw away education like he did. So I had to continue for some time. It's not like both of us were bad at studies. We were very good at studies. But we decided we were not to waste our time because we were doing something else. But I managed to kind of finish my schooling, and then I went to college to do my BSc Physics. But by then, my mentor, my uncle, pulled me out of physics and said, you have to do the same physics in the Film Institute. So I went to study cinematography, processing, and sound engineering. And when I was in the second year, another very intelligent, capable person, a cinematographer, said, come out of the institute and work with me. You need practical experience. So I went there. They managed to somehow pull me out. And then in the second year, when I was having practical experience, can you believe it? My first film where I worked as a camera assistant, where I follow the lights and all that, Rajinikanth and Sridevi were playing the lead. Oh my God, it was like wonderful. I'm surprised that Pushpa is here because today there is a celebration at Rajinikanth's house. Her father is kind of the chief guest. I'm really surprised that she's here. So I think this convention is more important to her than, the stars. Like for the stars, her father is very important, but for her, this convention is really important. So when I was in the second year, and I was, working in the film industry, a very clever man called Mahendran spotted that I could act because I was imitating Rajinikanth and Sridevi. That's all I did. I didn't admire them. I was imitating them. He saw me at lunchtime entertaining everyone and pulled me out and said, stop doing cinematography, act. So he managed to do that, and that's how I turned into an actress. So a lot of people's management, kind of brought me wherever I am. And finally, I am standing here. The only qualification that I have here to speak in front of you is that I'm married to a professional management graduate. That's the upside. Let me tell you about the downside of being married to a management professional. I think all the men here are management professionals, aren't you all? Okay, this is going to be very difficult. I wish your wives were here. I always admired my husband's abilities, and he was a very organized man. Very, the way he sharpened his pencil itself is, I knew that he'd learnt it, how to manage even his weapon, and whenever he lost in thoughts or he got caught in a writer's block, he would sharpen the pencils. So we had like 300 sharpened pencils and one idea at any given point. And I was newly married and I was looking up to this man like God, because like he was supposed to be a great director and things like that, and he was a decent husband. Okay, so credit given to him. And his younger sister, that is his cousin's wedding, was coming up, and the wedding was in September 10th. I still remember the date, 1989. And her father fell ill, and the doctor said it's better to advance the wedding because he might not live. And that's what happened. He did not live, but we wanted to have the wedding. So everything was shifted from Rajeshwari Kalyana Mandapam or, the one in Kodambakam. All that was shifted, and it was shifted to Astika Samajam, which is opposite my house. And there was chaos everywhere. And this management professional said, don't worry, get me 2 sheets of paper and I'll manage everything. So he listed out the first thing that has to be done, second, third, fourth, fifth. So it was a 20-point program to change everything and go smoothly. And he said, yeah, job done. I said, who's going to do all this? He said, they didn't teach me this. They told me delegate, so you do it. Oh my God, that's when I realized what they were treating in management institutes. They're all like enemies of wives. I'm telling you, the teachers, whatever they taught, I'm still suffering. I've been married for 22 years. I'm still suffering the management education. Now that, most of the women who are all here, you all have been going to management institutes. You all know pieces of paper and you know how to write. And you also know the meaning of delegate. Now this time delegate this side. Please. Don't be stupid like any of us. Okay. Mr. Ranganath was talking about achieving and, whether women can really achieve to their fullest and all that. My husband always tells me, my son always tells me, you should be positive because you're one of those really positive women who's done well in life. I've had 18 court cases on me. That shows how successful I am. In fact, when there were criminal charges against me, 18, I'm a criminal, excuse me, but not a convicted criminal, acquitted criminal. Okay? So when I was like completely shocked and I said 18 court cases against me, I remember Vivek Oberoi calling me and saying, ma'am, you've arrived. You've become somebody. So anyway, my family people always tell me, don't, talk about the disadvantages of women. People like you should not be talking about disadvantages of women. So I think anything is possible by women, as long as we forget that we are women. But the thing is, do we really want to give away our feminine qualities to succeed in the masculine world, is what it is. Recently I was listening to Jaggi Vasudev and he said, anything that is beautiful, emotional and sensitive is feminine. Anything that is boring, successful, organized is masculine. It's not about male, female at all. He said about, all of us, I have masculine qualities. I can lift this chair with him. With him I can lift the chair. That is a masculine quality in me which, takes me a long way. And similarly, men love Carnatic music. Ranganath was saying yesterday, they were listening to music which was wonderful. I'm sure there was a little tear or a bright star in his eyes when he was listening to that music. That was the feminine side of him. So as long as we can differentiate between the masculine and feminine qualities in us and we decide which one we want, I think we're okay. This morning at breakfast table, I was sitting next to the management professional and a lawyer, and I was asking them, I messed up my management, managing my day. I called Aruna on February 19th and said, is the meeting today? And she said, no, it's next month. So I thought next month is next year. I completely forgot about it. And Andhra government is giving me some award today, so the tickets were all booked, and I realized, my God, I have a 11:30 flight to catch and I haven't prepared. I was not even sure if I was coming here and all that. So that kind of messing up I did, and I was asking these two gentlemen. The manager of the house was not at home, my mother, the only manager. She had gone to the temple to manage the world peace. So I couldn't ask her. I'm sure she would have given me the right answer, but I asked these two people. And the management professional, of course, delegated, said, go ask Aruna, she knows everything. So again, he delegated. But my father said, he has a lot of feminine, nature in him, having given birth to 3 girls and loving all 3 of us. What he said was, there was a UN study years ago. 65% of the work, the labor in the world is done by women. Only 35% of the hard work is done by men. But the money that is made in the world, 94% is made by men and only 6% is made by women. So there is some problem somewhere. Are we getting paid for the work we are doing? I think we are not. I don't think anybody is cheating us. I think we are cheating ourselves with emotions and things like that. Years ago when I went to WCC for the Women's Day, the lecturers were telling me it's so difficult for us to make the girls concentrate on slightly different ideas when they are around 20 and 21. 19, 20, 21, it's really, especially 20, 21, because they're all interested in settling down in life. For a man, settling down in life is that he doesn't have to worry about future at all. But for a woman, settling down means the future is a big question. The future becomes a big problem, but we call it settling down. So I think all women have to give ourselves a thought about settling ourselves, with a partner, in romance, in marriage. I think there is a fever in women. I see a lot of young girls here, so I'm telling you, there is a fever to settle down in life. First, define the word settle down. When Ranganath was talking really serious stuff, I said, I am not the one to talk about serious things here. I have come here to have fun. People have come here to have fun because we are entertainers. So I was going through one of my friend's letters that was given to me, the mails that was given to me long ago on management lessons. I really loved it. I really loved it and I wanted to share it with you. I'd live a clerk, a salesman, and sales rep and manager were going out for lunch. On the way to lunch, they found a magic lamp, oil lamp, but they rubbed it and a genie appeared. Okay? And the genie appeared and told all three of them, any wish, I'll grant it. And the clerk said, me first, me first, me first. And genie said, what do you want to do? So the clerk said, I want to go to Bahamas in the speediest boat. And I want all the happiness in the world. And genie said, granted, you go. The second was before the manager, the sales rep said, me next. So what do you want? The sales rep said that I want to go to Hawaii and have a great massage and have endless pina coladas and the love of my life. And then the third turn was the manager. So genie said, what do you want? The manager said, I want both of them back before lunch. So the moral is, always let your boss have the first say. The other one was really, really interesting. I'm just going to go through this alone about being successful and being on top. All of us are trying to be successful in life and we are trying to follow people who are successful. So there was an eagle sitting on top of a tree and not doing anything. Eagles don't do anything. Like husbands, sorry. sorry. It's like sons, like boyfriends, sorry, or fathers. Okay, so the eagle was sitting on top of the tree and happily sitting there doing nothing. So there was a rabbit which was down below and said, how do you manage to do nothing and you're happy? And eagle said, you try it. You can also be happy. So the rabbit said, I'm going to do nothing and I'm going to be happy. The rabbit was lying down, and suddenly a fox attacked and ate it. The moral of the story is to be sitting, doing nothing. You must be sitting very, very high up. So I guess these are the only management, tips that I can give you. It's been wonderful coming here. And as I told you, I'm leaving to Hyderabad because I'm getting an award. I don't know what this award is for, probably because I'm able to manage a lot of things. I was just reading, HP had a study on multitasking, and they did the multitasking for their, people who are working in HP, for the men and the women. The women managed very well, the men could not manage very well. Even the concentration level on any work that they did was 10 points lesser than when they were doing one thing at a time. The comparison is that when you take ganja, marijuana, it goes down by 4 points. So when you're multitasking, it goes down by 10 points, which means it's like smoking 2 ganjas when you're multitasking. So women, I want you to kind of think about multitasking before you take on too many things in life. And my advice will be things that you need to take care of yourself for optimum function for your brain. I'm sure Pritika Chari is there. She might agree with me or might not agree with me. Please limit your sugar and have enough protein.